Good evening. We're here live at the Decatur County 4-H Fair for the Granddaddy, the 49th annual Tom Swain Showmanship Contest.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Exciting event, great night. Weather's just going to really play out well. Hopefully we avoid – it seems like we have an evening storm come in about every day.
Yeah.
So, but it's been just late enough. It's really – the fair has really gone off pretty smooth.
Pretty good. They were about 10 till 9 last night. It kind of came in and
you and I, we've served on the board enough to know that there's been some years where you're like, we just need a couple good days, guys. Come on.
And we have. But my name's Kevin Kreitz.
Andrew Gauk.
And we're going to bring to you the, like I said, the 49th annual Tom Swain Showmanship. Just started here at the front of the cover. Our show order tonight is going to be swine, then dairy, sheep, goats, and round it off with beef. You want to take a minute and tell us who was Tom Swain?
You know, I tell you, I think we're going to hear Carolyn probably go through some of those stories. So one of the things that we won't hear over her mic is going to be the bios on these kids that are in it.
Awesome, yes.
I think we ought to probably try to get those kids introduced. They got really nice write-ups here on them, and I'm not a great reader, but we'll try to go through here and knock these out. So our first individual we want to talk about is Madeline Shireman. Comes from she's from South Decatur, and she's representing the swine. She's going to be a 2026 grad there at South, and swine is certainly her project. And so Madeline intends to continue her education by attending college and pursuing a degree in the healthcare industry. She's cultivated an awareness of how impactful it is to help others through her years in 4-H. This has ultimately inspired her future endeavors in life. Really neat for her. She's beyond thankful for the support of her family throughout the her swine showing career, and she'd like to model that behavior and strive through that. So, as far as memories go, winning grand champion, county born and raised gilt is top of them all for her. That memory was highlighted by how 4-H has helped her develop a good work ethic through which she feels will support her later in life. The idea of hard work isn't something new to the Shireman family, certainly. They are a legacy family in Decatur County and have actively farmed in the county for over 80 years. This has allowed Madeline to grow up around agricultural businesses and developed her passion for livestock. So, Madeline Shireman.
Second swine representative is Olivia Wechter. She goes to Greensburg. She's a 2023 graduate. Her project is also swine. Olivia intends on attending Ivy Tech, Purdue University post-high school. Currently, she plans on pursuing a degree in agricultural education. As she has navigated her 10 years in 4-H, she has found that it has provided her with self-confidence along with countless other awesome experiences and opportunities. The experience that sticks out most to her is a recent win in the swine senior showmanship class. This has been a goal of Olivia's, and she has exhilarated to have finally accomplished this, which further reinforces her love of 4-H because it has given her the drive to achieve whatever she puts her mind to. Olivia isn't new to swine and agriculture. It's an industry and a lifestyle that she was born into. She wouldn't have it any other way because it has helped define who she is as a young adult and who she will become as a successful educator.
Well, that's great. Coming out of the dairy side, our first one we'll talk about is Hannah Fuel. Hannah is must be just coming off St. Mary's. She's got a 2027 grad. I think that's going to make her maybe be a freshman here coming in this next year. She's one of those.
Your math's better than mine.
She's one of those that fills the barn, fills the project barn building too. She is a very active 4-H'er in dairy beef, shooting sports, small engines, veterinary science, welding, consumer clothing, ceramics, collections, and floriculture. So crazy involved.
Lots of projects.
One of those super 4-H'ers. Hannah has her sights set on attending college to pursue a degree in animal science and pre-vet, studying with an ultimate goal of being a large animal veterinarian. When she thinks about how 4-H has impacted her life, she is thankful for the friendship she has cultivated through from all over the state. Specifically, her favorite memory is hanging out in the dairy barn with her friends playing cards. As she begins to think about the next chapter of her life, she foresees using her communication skills she's developed in 4-H to create new connections and friendships. She is confident that her time in 4-H will also aid her in her journey to vet school. Her love of animals is a family affair, and with her dad working in agriculture for many years, it afforded her opportunities to start her dairy showing career. Hannah's family started with a few cows and now have a small dairy herd that allows her to continue in the show ring.
All right. Next representative from dairy, Ella Kuntz, goes to North Decatur. Graduation year, 2024. She takes dairy and recycling. Ella plans to attend college post-high school and pursue studies in business and sports marketing. 4-H is a program that Ella credits making her a better person every day. It pushes her to step out of her comfort zone and challenge her to overcome obstacles. This was never more apparent than her first year in dairy when she won beginner and intermediate showmanship.
Our 4-H queen leading the 4-H pledge.
Okay, we're going to do pledges here. This didn't work out exactly like how we planned.
I pledge my head to greater thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living, for my club, my community, my country, and my world.
All right, let me get back.
It's still on.
Close that. All right. Where was I here? Which further in... this has been a goal of... oh, wait. Wrong page. I was on Ella. She credits winning 2 different showmanship classes as a beginner to her hard work and dedication of both, which are skills that Ella knows that she has developed because of 4-H. Through her hard work and support of others, she knows you reap what you sow. This is also true with her family that have been farming in Decatur County for 7 generations. Through all the generations, the family has passed along. We're going to have to grab the mic.
This year we had 112 head of hogs exhibited. There were 76 purebred hogs exhibited at this year's fair. The largest breed were the Yorks and Durocs. Our Phil Metz Herdsman Award was named to Olivia Wachter. Our judges for showmanship in our county bred, born, and raised show was Jared Huffer. And our regular 4-H show was Mr. Chris Danner. We had 7 first-year members, and we had 12 10-year members. We also had 35 head of county bred, born, and raised hogs among 6 different breeders. So a great show, and we're looking forward to tonight's activities. Thank you.
That was Tyler Johnson, swine superintendent, giving you a little rundown of the swine show.
We'll be starting off with our swine here tonight, and so it should be just a great event. And as everybody's watching, first thing that you say is, well, you know, where's the placing pins at? Be the first year I can remember we've not had them. They were the pins that kind of were set up here. We always started with pigs primarily because we needed to get
break those pins down and open up the ring. So.
Yep.
We're going to hold them back behind these herder boards. We've got our judge on this side, so we should have a pretty good view. We'll kind of keep a camera angle. And we're going to get this thing rolling.
You and I talked about this. I mean,
I hope
it's
everyone
one of
got
those.
one of our programs. It's a very complete program this year. We have a lot of information in there, bios on each one of our contestants. And the bios are in there on our judges, but I'd like to tell you just a little bit about them. Dr. Clint Shireman grew up in Wanata, Indiana, showing and raising pigs, cattle, and sheep at the local, state, and national level. He graduated from Purdue University in 2011 with a degree in animal science and received his doctorate in veterinary medicine in 2015. While at Purdue, he was a member of the livestock judging team and the cheerleading team. Megan Shireman is from Morristown, Indiana. She exhibited pigs, beef cattle, dairy cattle, and sheep at the local, state, and national level. She received her bachelor's degree in veterinary technology from Purdue University in 2010. After graduating, she worked in the anesthesia department at Purdue University's veterinary teaching hospital. Dr. Clint and Megan now reside in LaPorte, Indiana, with their daughters, Raylan and Zyla. They opened Shireman Veterinary Services in 2016, where they provide ambulatory and in-house veterinary services for the Midwest. They specialize in food animal medicine with a specific interest in surgery and show animal medicine. They serve as the veterinary team for the Indiana Stock Show as well as for local livestock shows in their spare time. Clint and Megan operate a small cattle and show pig operation. They enjoy helping exhibitors achieve their goals by providing livestock and knowledge that will allow them to exceed in and out of the show ring. Please welcome our judges, Clint and Megan Shireman.
All right. Sounds like they have a great bio with a lot of experience.
Yeah, and across a number of species, I think that'll be really good. We've probably not at times had somebody that's got a lot of dairy background, so it's neat to see that we've got some of that experience this year for sure.
Hey, while I got a second here, I want to run down our sponsors for Tom Swain. Decatur County RMC, Napoleon State Bank, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Buy-Ride Auto, Obermeyer Agri Group, Russ Hubler, Gemstone, Let's Hardware, and Decatur County Recycling. I want to thank all the sponsors for allowing us to come out and do this tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, for your sponsorship of this. This is always a real highlight event of the fair, something that's just really special, goes on here in the evening. A lot of our livestock shows are really during the day. We start in the morning, and so a neat evening event for people that are just coming here to take in the fair. You come walk into the barn, and in an hour and a half, you can watch, watch 5 species out here, get a chance to show and be, really represent what our whole fair has got about. Its real highlight.
If you'd like to follow what I'm going to read, you can turn to the inside page. Who was Tom Swain?
Oh, I'm glad you caught
Tom
us on
Swain
that.
was recognized as one of the most outstanding, promising young men in the Decatur County community when he became the agricultural representative for the Decatur County Bank. In 1972, he was elected vice president and loan officer. Earlier, he had been awarded a BS and MS degree in agriculture at Purdue University. This was followed by employment as youth agent in Johnson County. He also served as an extension agent in Shelby County, where he was also an extension agent specialist in swine and dairy. While he had no previous banking experience when he relocated to Greensburg, he had an unusual background for the position he assumed. Besides becoming affiliated with the Greensburg Optimist Club, he became one of the key members of the Decatur County Fair Board, contributing to the success of the annual 4-H and agricultural fair. He was active at the First Christian Church, serving as both an elder and Sunday school superintendent. Not only did he possess firsthand knowledge of agricultural operations as a farm youth in Rush County, but he furthered his passion for agriculture through his education and studies in college. Tom Swain and his 2 sons were killed in an auto accident in 1973. In honor of his interest and support of 4-H livestock projects, his family and friends established the Tom Swain Memorial Showmanship Contest.
All right. That tells you a little bit how it got started.
Next year, we will actually be celebrating our 50th Tom Swain Showmanship Contest. We want everyone to know that it's going to be a special celebration, and we hope that all past winners will return. So if you know anyone who is on that trophy, which I'll probably read some of their names later, tell them they need to be here next year.
I think we're reading ear notches, aren't we?
Oh, this is going to be beautiful. Ear notches are always such a, if you're buying pigs and you're not raising litters, it's something that's really hard to really pick up because you don't have an understanding of what kind of you're after here in it. And
well,
so
for the people that aren't familiar with ear notches, it's 1, 3, 9,
27,
63,
81. Right, 81. You're right, 81. So it's 3 1s is 3, 3 3s
no, you
is
can
9.
only use 2s.
Right, but that's why how we get to the next number.
Yeah. So you have a pig that, you use that combination to get to a 27.
That's right.
13.
You never have 3 of any one notch. If there is, then you have a notch available to go to. So it's an addition game, and so we're the kids had a chance to. It looked like as a team, there was kind of like
we might have had some cooperation there.
Yeah.
The first 3 or 4 were out pretty quick, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to figure out what that was and get back. So
I hope that black pig passes by here, and I'll see if you can read that.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll put you to the test.
We will make a
All right.
The way I learned it is as they're looking at you, the left ear is the litter ear. So that's your L's, your 3 L's.
So I think 3, 6, 7. I think it's a 7, 3 pig. Litter 7, pig 3. All right. I mean, we're pretty far back here, but
yeah, the pig's got his big county tag in that litter ear, and so he's definitely a -3. Definitely a -3.
But I think he's got 2 up top and 1 down low.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to say it's a litter 7.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
Kevin, he's all over it. Nope, it's an 8.
It's an 8.
Yeah,
is there
there's 2 down
there?
low.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. You're right. We got a good view there. Yep. Litter 8.
And it's all that pig's jet black too. It's and you don't have anything to contrast against, but 8-1. We'll find out if that's
8-3.
3. Yeah, 8-3.
We shouldn't be saying that real out loud.
That's
Oh,
right.
it's already too
yeah,
late.
that's right. The answer's out. I think we can be the answer key and be
And
okay.
we're probably wrong, so that's
Yeah,
all right.
That's all right. That's exactly right. So,
All right. So
they're going to work through these, and the idea of it is 2 of these kids came in, and those were the Madeline Shireman and Olivia Wechter. Those are 2 out here. If I could give you it probably is A and B. Yep, there you go.
Yes.
So A and B are going to be your 2 kids that came through swine. As we read through bios, I don't think, at least the ones we had read off, they don't have any swine experience.
If you've been here in the past, you know I like to look up things about the different species that I could tell you. They're not always entertaining, sometimes educational, but who knows. I did find a really interesting quote, and the person who said this was a very important man. His name was Winston Churchill. He said, "I am fond of pigs. Dogs look up to us. Cats look down on us. Pigs treat us as equals." Winston Churchill.
one of Karen's tidbits.
She is. She's all over that.
Hey, well, we got a little break here. I want to kind of go through some of the hardware that we're going to give out here tonight. The rotating champion trophy will be presented by Joyce Swain Kenser and family. The reserve champion trophy, the Optimist Club. Medallions for the participants come from Animal Medical Clinic. T-shirts for the participants comes from Hirt and Coors Cattle Company. And a special gift for the champion comes from Alan and Kathy Meyer and Meyer Family Shorthorns. Like I said before, our MC for tonight will be Karen Smith. And you'll hear her interject whenever we let her.
Yeah, that's right. We have no control on Karen.
Whenever she wants to.
She is. She has Trump value, everything. When Karen picks up that microphone, and Karen's going to talk a lot tonight. She always has a lot of really great things to feed in, and so we're here just to give you a little bit of insight outside of that stuff that she can't say on the mic, because the judges are going to hear. And that's why we wanted to read off some of those bios. And if we start in on a bio, inevitably Karen's going to jump in on us. So we may try to get a few of those in, because it is neat to hear about these kids. They have a really great, and she's right, they did a super job with their with the pamphlet that they put together this year for the show. So
we keep making the ring smaller and smaller here, Andrew. I mean, they've cut it down to a quarter.
They're hazing these kids. This is maybe that's the instruction, like every 15 seconds, take a step in. So,
well, without the placing pins, they had to throw a new wrinkle in, because that's a big part of showing a pig, being able to get it back into the pen. And
yeah, no, it absolutely is.
So, yeah.
So those of you that are out here watching, they got these pigs hemmed into where they're on and off the screen. If you're watching on YouTube, we are live on YouTube through WTRE's page. If you go to their live feed, you can find this or you're obviously listening to us on the radio. If you want to listen and be able to watch this, you can do all that. It's like TV, right? No subscription needed. Thank our sponsors for that.
We'll catch them here in a minute. All right. We're going to have this down to a one-lane ring.
Hey, all right. I feel like they're getting balled up down on that other end off the screen, and for whatever reason. All right, he's backing them up.
Backing them up. Give him the ring. Our judges are over here consulting.
So for those of you that are watching, we've got a lot of, like Hampshire marked would be our black pigs that have got white on their on them.
Belted pig.
Yeah, what we call that. A blue butt is really gray, so some of these pigs that are blue butts are out here, and then a predominantly white ones are more like a Yorkshire type pig. Several different breeds represented out here in the drive. Just pigs that kids that
Our contestants have a 5-minute break in between this and the next species. I will call you at 4 minutes.
All right, we're dismissing that round, so
it might be an opportunity for us to get in if she.
Let's get a couple in, and then we'll have another break, and we'll get the rest.
So coming through sheep, Hope Barker is the next one we'll talk about. Hope goes to South Decatur. She just graduated here this year. She is a project member in sheep and in swine. Hope intends on attending Indiana University to start in the fall semester here of 2023. She will be pursuing a degree in biology with a focus on pre-med. Hope has navigated her 10 years in 4-H. She has learned how to take losses with the wins and keep her head held high. It has also provided her with the opportunity to create strong friendships with other youth in the barn, especially with Sarah Hasselbrink. The development of this friendship is one of her favorite memories. Having the opportunity to practice for Tom Swain with Sarah is something she will always cherish as a returning contestant. Through 4-H, she has seen compassion modeled by others and wants to replicate this skill in her future endeavors. Hope's family has been in the sheep industry since 1960 and will remain there for many years to come. This has awarded her the opportunity to be around kind, responsible people that model strong animal husbandry skills. Hope Barker.
All right, next contestant, Maddie Broussard, coming in through the sheep. Greensburg, graduation year 2027. Projects, goats, sheep, corn, and soybeans. Maddie has time to decide what she wants to pursue post-high school, but knows it will involve agricultural industry. When she thinks about how 4-H has impacted her life, she feels one of the most valuable takeaways is how to be a humble winner and a gracious loser. Without 4-H, she would not have been instilled with this mindset. 4-H and agriculture is a family affair for the Broussard family. She grew up watching older sister Sammy show at local, state, and national levels. Maddie wants to model the same love and passion for agricultural industry as her sister. One of Maddie's favorite memories is showing alongside her younger sister Tinsley, even though, as Maddie puts it, they don't always get along, but push each other to do their very best. She credits this drive and passion to 4-H teaching her the value of hard work. All right.
Iowa.
Has she called the 4-minute mark?
She is not called for the 1-minute mark, but we will surely not get through the next bio. We'll have a break like this again, and we'll continue to rattle off a couple. I think it'll end up working out really nice. We'll continue to kind of get these kids represented and talked about. So
bios, yep. All right, we're going to bring in dairy for our second, and our representatives will be Hannah Fuel, C, and Ella Kuntz, D, will be your representatives for the dairy.
Karen's going through some trivia you guys are getting a chance to listen to.
No, I've got them turned off.
Oh, you do?
I've got her turned off. Right
now. Well,
yeah. She was going to interrupt me.
She was. Oh, absolutely. We weren't going to have any of that.
All right.
Not one bit. So
I'm going to open up her
one
mic.
thing that's unique out here this year, we're showing on bark. I feel like we've been on sawdust for years here. Have we gone to bark? Just you don't think this is the first year?
No.
I don't know why I felt like that when I saw it this year. I was like, I felt like we've been at sawdust for. And we did. We used sawdust here for the longest of time.
We have. It's kind of a back and forth thing.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, this is almost a mulch.
It is. Yeah. It's pretty coarse out here. I think they've.
All right. She's calling for the dairy. So,
like Kevin said, Hannah Fuel and Ella Kuntz. Those are our two kids that came in through the dairy that are in this. We've got 10 total individuals out here, so those two are going to be C and D out there for those of you that are watching.
And when we mentioned they came in through dairy, that means that they won the expert showmanship in that species. So just for a little clarification there.
Yep. So
I'm going to open up the mic, and they're bringing in the cows.
I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We had a couple different representatives than we had last year out here for the dairy. Our numbers are up as far as members showing and number of animals that we had for the show. We had a good 3-hour show on Friday afternoon. Went well. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight.
Hey, I'm going to go.
That was Dan Nobby, the superintendent of the dairy project.
They have a fun time over there. That's a great barn. If you're ever at the fair, you definitely want to walk through and see the cows, and they always have some younger calves there, and but just a great barn and a great set of families over there.
The dairy project is kind of a unique project because honestly, you can show the same cow or start out as a calf and show it pretty much your whole 4-H career.
It is. It's one of those we talked about that. We'll have that conversation when we get to goats because there's probably going to be a goat out here that fits that bill for a young man that'll be in the ring. But you're right. In this, you can show these cows as an aged cow. I don't know what that if they categorize them up over 4 years then, and that or 6. They do have kind of cow categories up through.
Yeah.
And
but she
and
could,
so,
you could show her as a calf, and then you can bring her back and show her as a yearling.
and her calf. And
And
if she's one of those that you're showing, you're probably bringing some of her calves back with her. I mean, she.
Yeah.
So she's got daughters here.
And we've kind of brought that into our beef program too, with the cow calf pair and stuff like that. So
Yep.
this is a species that you could buy a young calf and show it as a calf, and then come back and show it as a yearling, and yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit unique.
Reading through the bio for Hannah Hannah Fuel, I kind of gather that's a bit of them. I mean, they kind of went out and started with a cow or two and have built up into just kind of a little small dairy. It's
Sure.
something that they're doing as a family and really need. I mean, from a commercial dairy standpoint, we've really got just a few places here in the county anymore. When we were kids, there was certainly more, and a couple of the families that are showing now in the dairy project don't have big full-time dairies anymore, but their kids are still buying a few
Participate,
calves
yeah.
and participating for
Sure.
sure. So it's great. I mean, there's family tradition there that they're able to carry on through this project, and that's tremendous. I think that for me, when I was in this as a kid, it was always a matter of how big a cow do you want to drag around out here. Because the little ones actually look like they would be where you'd want to go, but those things have got a little fire in their belly yet.
Yeah, a lot of times you take that older cow, and she's just pretty calm, just kind of follows you around.
She
and-
kind of teaches something, I
Yeah.
mean, she's been out here before. She knows the ropes. You're just kind of along for the ride, and she'll
Now that doesn't
take
mean
care
that
of you.
she won't turn on you too,
All right.
and take you for a ride. But
Her foot's a little heavier. She'll put a little more pressure on your toe if she catches you.
she's
but-
a little harder to drag.
She is, yeah. She's going to go when she wants to go.
But even these little ones just go when they want to go.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's been some even smaller calves in the ring than we've got this year. There's some baby calves that are back there, and I remember those things. If you didn't show before, you're like, that's what I want. I want the littlest one I can get.
They all have can have a bad attitude.
They can, yeah. They just don't have a lot of experience yet. They're kind of.
We'll mention here,
Unbroke colt.
as you can kind of see, they lined up. Now they're going to do a circle, and this is specific to dairy. Showman's going to be on the outside of the ring. Give the judge the best. Judge standing in the middle of the ring. Give the judge the best
I did
view
want
of
to take time to introduce the royalty that we have sitting in the ring, and I also will mention some that we can't fit everybody in here. We're unfortunately, but we're so glad to have them all. We have Maddie Bowman, our Miss Decatur County. Maddie, can you wave at the crowd? Sorry, I surprised them. We have Irene Moore, our 4-H queen. We have Lizzie Fissy. She's our 4-H princess. And out around here, who I think it's wonderful that our royalty has been so active in so many things, because we had them all at the beef show yesterday. It was great. But Kaylee Smith is up there in the stands, and she was first runner-up for Miss Decatur County and also for our 4-H queen. And Macy Kinker was second runner-up for our 4-H princess. Sorry, I messed up. Macy Kinker is the princess. What did I say? I wrote it down. I can't read my own writing. That is true.
You can get her later, Irene.
Kinker.
So one thing that those of you that are watching, the other thing is that kids are walking backwards. So, and you don't know any different yet because we haven't showed beef, but that was one thing that was real unique, because this was the one species I didn't show when I was in this 30 years ago, literally. 93 was my year that I won this, and now it's 23. That's a few years later. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but this was a species I didn't do, and so I needed to spend some time learning and walking backwards and walking slow and smooth. I mean, you just wanted to be very smooth with all of your actions, and you wanted to be, you know, kind of methodical as you came around. You didn't no quick actions. You'll notice the kids will have a show stick in the beef side, but the dairy kids more kind of touch them on their shoulder blade, really to encourage them to step forward or backwards and kind of push or pull on their head, trying to get their feet to set in a natural position where they want them to be.
And one thing, comment, they are all females in the ring, correct?
That's right. Yep.
These will all be females.
So we've got some lactating cows out here. That means they've got an udder on them. Just got maybe one.
I believe just one.
Yep. And so.
And I'm going to question you. Is that a Jersey or a Guernsey?
It's a Jersey, I believe. I think we've got Jerseys here.
Holstein represented
Yeah, so-
pretty well. The black and white
Yep,
speckled cows are going to be your Holsteins.
and red and white. Holsteins come in a red and white as well.
That is
so
correct.
you won't see very many of those, but it is an approved color for them. But yeah,
And then you'd also have a red and white
our
milking.
Chick-fil-A cows are Holsteins, right?
Yeah, red and white milking shorthorn.
There is a milking shorthorn, that's right. So that probably is where you can, and there's a brown Swiss, which when you see these Jerseys and Guernseys and brown Swiss, a Swiss is a smaller, and we've got, I think that's what you'd come closer to thinking we have, but the dairy breeds, and I'll be the first one to admit I don't know them all very well. So, but there is certainly a spectrum of breeds, and some of them they're all around. They served a great purpose. Some of them were really known for having a high quality milk in terms of the butter fat, what we would use to make butter or to pull off to make your creams.
Yep.
Those were some of the breeds have a very high level of that in them, so the volume of milk isn't really high. So Holsteins really became so popular because they were the big volume milk producers. Now, when dairy producers sell milk, they do sell it on its
Weight,
it's
pounds.
and the value of the milk. So they pull samples off of it, and depending on how much protein is in there and how much butter fat is in the milk, actually does affect their price slide a little bit as they sell it.
It's been really nice to see our dairy numbers grow here in Decatur County and at the fair. But if you are aware, dairy herds throughout the United States have actually reduced. They're not at their lowest point, but they're about midway between the lowest point and the highest point. We have 9.45 million milk cows in the United States as of the last census. That was 2022. The number of dairy farmers has gone down to less than 30,000. Used to be over 70,000.
Be interesting to know. We know the dairy farmers have reduced, but has the number of cows reduced? It seems like the number of cows has probably stayed the same, but they're more concentrated in larger dairies.
Yeah, and genetic selection, it's really fascinating how they have, through nutrition and selection, they've been able to increase the ability of each cow to make more milk. We're just doing such an awesome job of feeding these cows now. We know what they need, and we're able to optimize their ability to make milk and do it in a really high quality level. And so that's all just contributed to, it's kind of like an acre of corn used to raise 80 bushel, and now it raises 280 bushel.
Correct.
And that's through us learning how to optimize that product out there. There's technology that goes into that, but there's also increase in that husbandry and management to get those things to be all that they can, and this dairy cow thing is very much that way.
I want to run through our sponsors again. I want to thank Decatur County Recycling, Let's Hardware, Gemstone, Russ Hubler, Obermeyer Agri Group, Buy Right Auto, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Napoleon State Bank, and Decatur County REMC for their sponsorship of the Tom Swain contest here tonight, the 49th annual Tom Swain contest.
49th annual. I had, when she had said, coming in, when I saw it was 73 to start, I'm like, this is it. This is the 50.
No.
But it's not. And that's so. And I'm so because we didn't have a Tom Swain in 2020, we had a show for every rabbit or for all of the species. We had a dairy show, we had a hog show, we had a cattle show, we had a sheep show, a goat show. But those kids came in the morning and they showed and they went home that day, and we weren't able to keep the kids around here to where we could have an event like this where we came together and had this cumulative showmanship where each kid gets an opportunity to show all 5 of the different species that it represents. And so we weren't able to have it that year, unfortunately, and so that slipped us from the 50th being this year to being next year.
Right. And as Karen said, we're inviting all past winners to come next year. And
I think it's great.
It's going to be, it'd be a special show because that, 50 years is a long time.
It is. It is. It's a great event. When my dad was in 4-H, this hadn't started yet, and so it is something that's definitely, taken some time. But it's become one of the great traditions of our fair here, to have a memorial, something named after somebody, and then for it to really hang in there and last. And Tom's wife has been a big part of the growth and change of this. There was we had an expansion of the original show that would have only been dairy, beef, swine, and sheep, and then we added goats in. That would be the trivia question that I would have, is what year we added the goats in. It seems like it's been almost 10 years ago now. I think
it's longer than that. I'm going to say it was in 07 or 08. Maybe we'll get a break here and we'll clarify that.
Okay.
But I believe that they came in about that era. But and that's 50 years. You've had 50 winners, or 40. We've had 49 winners.
Yes.
But it's been an honor for a lot of people to just participate in it.
I completely agree.
You got to remember, they are the best of their species. They're coming out of swine, beef, dairy. That species. They are the expert showmen. Then they move it up a level. Then you show Tom Swain.
Yeah.
And
having the opportunity to challenge yourself to have to participate.
Comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone, maybe.
It does. It really tests you. And a lot of it's a mental deal out here. You're really internally. We all know that there's kids out here that are very uncomfortable showing dairy right now. It's not something they're used to. It's not something they're comfortable with. They've probably been out here a few evenings this week getting ready if this is the first time. So in general, they're nervous inside, but they are so cool and controlled. And that's something that's a life lesson, really. It really is.
It is. Yeah,
so
and just just for the novice, if you're showing a market weather goat weighing 120 pounds, 140
yeah,
pounds.
That's right. Some of them are.
Now you're dragging around a cow that weighs 1,400.
Yep.
That's a big increase.
And it can be very intimidating to a kid, and so.
And the beef person that has drug this 1,400-pound steer around all year, or all summer, basically all year, and then they got to get down and have a 280 and drive a pig with a whip.
That's right. Somebody hands you a stick or a show whip and a brush and says,
"Go show
that pig that you're not hooked onto, that doesn't have a halter, you got to make him go where you want him to go."
It is. And like I said, So,
it's always a challenge, and what is magical about what happens here, though, is these evenings leading up to this. It's unbelievable how many of these kids are out here working with each other, teaching.
After you qualify, you know, you got to go find a dairy cow. You got to, whatever you come in, you got to go find the other species, and then have an interaction with that 4-H'er to teach you how to do it and to practice. Yeah, we see that almost every evening here in the barn. As the experts are picked, you know, the qualifiers are picked for Tom Swain. You know,
there's adults out here helping. There's young 4-H'ers. There's young kids out here showing an older kid how to do their species, and they haven't even qualified for this yet. They're really good at their species, but they didn't get a chance to be in this, and yet they're taking that opportunity to help a kid from another species with their animal and showing them how it works, what they like, what it takes to get them to do what they want them to do. And I mean, that kid gets this rare opportunity to be a teacher, and the big kid gets an opportunity to be a student.
yes,
And that's all happening out here, and it's so much fun, and I hope these kids, and in the moment, it all just kind of happens. But looking back, it's so awesome how these kids interact with each other positively and teach each other a lot. And I think Hope Barker's bio talks about her and Sarah Hasselbrink. Well, the two of them were out here. I mean, they were competing against each other every year that they did this. And yet prior to that, they're working with each other, showing the other one how to do their species. And it's a team. Out here, they're individuals, but before they stepped into the ring, they were teamed up, helping each other figure it out. And
they're a team, and then they compete against each other, and then at the end, they're friends again.
They are hugging each other and crying because the other one won, and they were it's tears of joy. They're happy for their accomplishment and just proud of what they've done. And so that's the feeling that you want out of this deal is being able to impact another kid and see them do well. That's what, as parents, we love about this, is it's us getting a chance to watch our kids and all the things they've learned, and they get out here and get a chance to show that off.
I'll transition to a new topic a little bit, but this is a little bit of a special show because we have 2 past winners actually in the ring.
Yeah, you had talked about that, and I think that's a great point. I mean, it's not uncommon for the winner to be a 10-year member, but we've had some young members get through this and have one returning and out here that has a past winning experience. And
just to tell you, Evan Graves was our 22 winner.
Okay.
Hope Barker was our 21 winner. Okay.
Yep.
So to have two previous winners competing for
Yep. So that happened in 94. That happened because Matt Barker won it as an eighth year 4-H'er.
He won it in 92.
And then I won it in 93 as a 9-year 4-H'er.
Okay, contestants, you have 5 minutes for a break between this and the sheep.
Both of us came back trying to get our second win, and we get taken out by another 9-year 4-H'er that's coming in that had plans that weren't ours. That was Kim Ramp.
Yeah, 94
and we were both 10-year kids out here the last time we were getting the show in this ring, and we got a little humble pie ourselves. So, but that was a great life lesson. It really was.
All right, we got a little break between dairy and sheep, so we're going to grab a couple more bios here. I'm going to get my first one.
Okay.
Lainey Ferris, entering through goats, goes to Greensburg High School. She's a graduate, or she'll be a graduate. Graduation year is 2025. Her project is goats. After high school, Lainey intends on attending to pursue studies in pre-med and nursing. She hopes to eventually work as a labor and delivery nurse. Through 4-H, she feels it has taught her responsibility with the added benefit of so many great friendships. A tradition that lets Laney enjoy annual is marking the end of her goat show with some famous Decatur County Fair ice cream. She's excited to apply her leadership and teamwork skills in her future profession and academic endeavors. Laney's love for agriculture started at an early age when her cousin introduced her to agriculture when she was in first grade, and it has greatly impacted her life. She learned the true value of hard work, along with the importance of following through and being accountable when it involves animal husbandry.
Our next representative in goats coming through there is Charlie Kramer. Charlie, yep, here's Scott. We'll let Scott introduce, talk about the sheep.
Thank you, Karen. Like Karen said, my name's Scott Smith, and together Steve Gauk and I were the project leaders for the sheep. This year we had 50 head of sheep. 14 of those were county born and raised lambs. We have 26 members. 4 were first-year members. We have 1 10-year member that is participating here tonight, and then Tom Swain. And our participants tonight that are representing the sheep project are Maddie Broussard and Hope Barker. And we wish everyone the best of luck.
All right, if we get a break, I'm just going to go ahead and rattle off Charlie. He's another one of those that spends the whole year getting his projects ready because he's got a slew of stuff he's in. And this kid lives with his cup full all the time. I mean, he is an active member in a number of activities that are not even on his bio here, so I'll give him a huge shout-out for that. He's in sports fishing, collections, hay, recycling, latch hook, soil and water conservation, wheat, all other basic projects, crafts, soybeans, meat goats, pygmy goats, and junior leaders. So an active kid. Charlie will be attending IUPUC in the fall to pursue a degree in finance with a goal to become a certified financial planner. Through his 10 years in 4-H, he's developed skills necessary to ensure success in his future. When looking back, his favorite memories from the fair was serving as 4-H king in both 2021 and in 23. I did not think about that as a double king. I bet he's the first one that ever did that. He feels 4-H has developed his skill set, diligence, perseverance, and optimism. These skills will play a critical role in excelling through the trials and tribulations of life. Charlie entered the agricultural business as a youth. His uncle and family raised boar goats, which piqued his interest. He began showing goats as a Cloverbud Showmanship class, and the rest is history. This provided him with an immense amount of experience and was able to discover his true passion in life, the ag industry.
All right. We've got our sheep out here in the ring, making a big circle. We're going to line up. I'm kind of looking, are we showing both wethers and ewes, females and males?
We definitely are. Yep.
Yes, we are.
Everything
just
out here is
tidbit.
slick sheared. So slick sheared means that they've got a really tight clip. The wool that would normally be on these has been sheared off, and so the judge is grabbing the mic. I thought he was grabbing the mic.
No,
so anyway, they're sheared down, so they've got a smooth clip job on them, and you can kind of see everything about them in terms of how they're made. There's a lot of different breeds represented out here. Some of the all-white breeds that are out here might be Dorset or Southdown. I think that's probably catches what there is. Columbias would be another breed that would be like an all-white breed.
Right.
These darker pointed ones where their head and their feet are black. There's some Suffolks would be one of those breeds. Hampshires are the ones that are maybe a little shaggy or legged. They call that shag too. They like that wool, that leg wool on those on those Hampshires. So there is several Hampshires out here. This would be a Hamp coming across here that Miss Broussard has. She's one of our sheep representatives.
Your sheep representatives are Hope Barker, E, and Maddie Broussard, F.
So as Kevin had said earlier, Hope is one of those returning winners out here. She's been in it. If we get a chance to talk to her in a post game, I'm curious how many years she's been in. She did get a chance to get in this pretty early.
I did speak to her, and there's her dad. But I think she's been reserved twice and won it once.
And she was in a few times that she didn't get either of those spots. So she's got several years of experience in this, maybe 7 or something crazy. It's been a number of years that she's had a chance to be in this.
I just cleared that up. She's been reserved twice. She was champion once, and she's been in it 5 years.
5 years, and would have been 6.
Would have been 6
COVID.
with COVID.
Yeah. So
I don't even want to talk about that.
And that's a great opportunity. I mean, she got in young, which is always really nice because this is a pretty big task to come in your first year of doing this and be able to compete with some kids that maybe have already been in it a year or two. And there are kids that have been in this.
You're going to be in 3rd or 4th grade.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, if you make a run through your species and win rookie, beginner, intermediate, senior, expert, you know, you're competing against, you know.
There are kids that have got experience that are already in those other classes. And the way we do it here at Decatur County is you're in those age groups because of your age, but if you win them, it automatically moves you up to the next one. So you're able to go ahead, if you win rookie, you're able to participate in the beginner showmanship, which is 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. And if you're in there, you know, you've already won your rookie deal. Now you're going in to compete against another draft of kids, and if the judge selects you to win that, you've got an animal that's already been out there twice. Now you're asking them to go out and show a 3rd time. So it becomes really tasking for these kids to move up through and think that they can get into expert showmanship without it taking a few years to get there, just because there's going to be kids that have more experience up in that top end. But there's been a few that have.
There's been quite a few that have done that. You know,
especially in sheep. I know there's been a number of them that have been able to pull, and maybe goats have done that as well. The Hog Project's probably had a lot more kids and it was a bigger task to try to come up through, but there's been some really young ones that have gotten a chance to get into expert at by the time they were maybe a 4th year 4-H'er, which in essence that's where, Hope would have been a 4th year 4-H kid, and she was out here in this. And
right.
We'll point her out. She's E. She's the last girl in the lineup there on the far end of your screen, but she's not very big anyway. You can about imagine how little that girl was 6 years ago. I mean, she was overwhelmed by a big old sheep, and yet out there just showing it as well as anybody. So
sure,
she's got a lot of determination and a lot of drive in her, and she's done a great job with it. Really solid representative for the sheep. I would say her and there's maybe a Kendall that's on our list of winners. Been just a handful that, and Matt Barker would have come through, has been a sheep kid. So Kim Kendall won in '87. She came through sheep. She probably was the first one. And Alan Fogg is on there in '84, and Alan would tell us better, but Alan showed probably more than sheep.
Well, that's what I was going to make a comment on that. You know, there, and the name that, kind of dominates or, or most of the multiple winners, they showed multiple species. And let's clarify that. If you win multiple species, they go down. You only go in through one species. So at that point, if you claim you're going in through whatever species and you won the other one, they go down to the third place.
That's right. So if expert has 3, and actually if there isn't, then they drop down to the reserve senior showman. If there was only 2 in expert and one of those opts out, and there's times when we've had only one. The kid that wins senior
Automatically qualifies.
moves into expert, and there's nobody in expert because everybody's tenured out.
Yeah.
So because it just takes some time to get there.
And that wouldn't happen in very often.
Yeah.
But it could happen in one species.
Yeah, it could. When a bunch of there's one particular year of kids that is super strong, and every year one of them gets into expert, and then all of a sudden it's all of them's last year, and just wipes them all out. And we've had that happen a few times, but it's
just for clarification, 4-H is a 10-year project.
It is.
So
it's not a mandatory 10.
No.
We certainly had kids that have jumped from a species to another one, and so they might start somewhere and finish in another. So you could have but a lot of times if they're successful in showmanship, they're probably going to stick with the project and
maybe add another one.
That's right. And it was, I think we showed cattle, sheep, and hogs, and I guess it was always like, well, we got to be there all week, so we might as well be showing something. And so that's how I kind of remember it. Mom and Dad might have to correct us on it, but I think that was kind of the excuse why we were going to just try to get one of everything. And we were down in the rabbit barn and the chicken barn showing stuff. I mean, we were
everywhere.
We were everywhere. We were just having fun. The fair was absolutely the highlight week of the summer. Well, I had this conversation with some kids earlier. We would see our friends off the last day of school, and we wouldn't see them again until school started back in the fall. You just weren't connected. You didn't have a cell phone. You had a landline phone, and some of the kids that lived close to you kept in touch with, but we weren't running around seeing each other or staying in touch through,
We didn't have a phone in our pocket.
We did not. It just didn't have a good way. I mean, and they didn't have a phone. We didn't have a phone. So it was, we just didn't have a great way to keep in touch with each other.
Yeah, you came to the fair to see all your friends.
You did. When fair came, and I went to Greensburg, and I had a lot of friends from North and South Decatur through 4-H.
Sure.
And I didn't see them during the school year. This was the week that we all showed up and saw each other. And so it was this was always just an awesome time. And so they're finishing up the sheep. They got everybody's back tag numbers. They are, I'm guessing that they're finishing up, but they're making some final decisions here. They've turned the kids around, got a back tag information on them. They're going to stack them in here.
Oh, we're going to stack them long ways. Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
Maybe not traditionally we would have them lined up side by side in this part of the ring, but he's
going to line them up in a circle.
It looks like he's making a circle with them. They're maybe they'll start to figure that out here.
Is he doing that so he can maybe ask him a question?
I'm thinking duck, duck, goose. He's going to walk around behind him, and then he's going to tap on one of the sheep, and then he's going to take off running, and then the kid's going to drop their lamb and chase him down, you think?
I don't think that's part of the show.
Well,
I've been to quite a few shows, and I don't think I've ever seen Duck Duck Goose in the sheep show.
Hey, we're going to find out here.
But this is good. This is good. Okay. We got a pretty good picture on our screen. We're going to ask. Oh, he's going to move.
So he's going outside the circle.
Yeah.
Oh, see, it's just got some duck, duck, goose feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Huh? What do you think? He's going in the middle. He's
Oh.
going back out. He's switching sides.
Oh, he's having a good time with
Yeah,
this,
this
isn't he?
is.
Had the opportunity to listen to the broadcast of the sheep or the cattle show yesterday while I was working.
Oh yes,
I was working.
I happened to pick it up too on.
While you were working?
Yeah, while I was working.
Okay. And
Listen to it mainly, so
yeah,
I could work.
yeah. I did miss some highlights, but the judge was really dramatic. I really liked him. He put, he'd get them all fired up, and they'd say he's going to the mic, and then he wouldn't. And
yeah, he's ready to get it. He's
no,
ready
he's
to
got
get
to
a
have
drink.
it. Yeah,
He brought that upon himself.
that's right.
Just
All right, we're going to have a few-minute break between sheep and goats, so we'll grab a couple more of our bios.
Once again, want to thank Decatur County REMC, Napoleon State Bank, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Buy Ride Auto, Obermeyer Agri Group, Russ Hubler, Gemstone, Let's Hardware, and Decatur County Recycling. Thank you so much for your sponsorship here of the 2023 Tom Swain. Well, Kevin,
All
we
right.
got another bio.
do.
You want to read off one?
Evan Graves, entering through beef, goes to school at Greensburg, graduated in 2023. He does beef and swine. Evan plans on attending Northern Oklahoma and pursue a degree in animal science. While at Northern Oklahoma College, Evan will also be a member of their livestock judging team. He lives every day with a passion for agriculture, specifically beef cattle, and this is attributed to his time in 4-H. This passion has allowed him to be a returning contestant in the Tom Swain contest and to help younger exhibitors develop the same passion. In the future, he intends on using his matured skill set, responsibility, value of hard work, and compassion as a 4-H has helped him develop this skill set that he will utilize to excel through the agricultural industry. This journey will be very similar to many before him, as he is a fifth generation from his family that is involved in agriculture. This has impacted him by reinforcing hard work, dedication that will pay off in the future, fruitful ways.
All right. And our last member that we've got a bio on here also comes out of beef, and that is Reagan Harrison. Reagan's going to be a 2026 grad from South Decatur. Her projects are fairy garden and beef. Reagan has a goal to attend college after high school to pursue a career in dental hygienist as a dental hygienist. However, she likes to focus on the now and how 4-H has positively impacted her life. Through her years in 4-H, Reagan has learned that to achieve a desired outcome, you first have to put in hard work and perseverance. One of her favorite memories of 4-H was also a key learning opportunity. She and some friends decided to have a water balloon fight at the conclusion of the battle, which the battle is the cattle battle show, I think, that they put on here. It's an open show.
Go ahead and finish.
This year we had 45 members who showed a total of 126 goats. 49 of those were dairy and 77 of those were meat. We also had one member complete a poster for the project. Good luck to all the exhibitors tonight in Tom Swain.
Her name's not Claire Smith anymore, but it's still Claire Smith to me, okay?
It is, I know. That whole group of Smith girls are.
And they're my neighbor, so that's even worse.
So I'll finish up.
Max is her husband's name, but last name, I'm out. Go ahead.
So Reagan Harrison.
The balloon fight at
so,
the end
so
of the cattle battle.
She and some of her friends decided to have a water balloon fight at the conclusion of the battle. They were reminded to leave the space as they found it. This taught her strong leadership skills as she helped direct the cleanup while instilling the dedication to always be mindful of others. Reagan is a 8th-generation farmer and grew up around show and production cattle. This has provided her the opportunity to learn the true value of animal husbandry and how difficult it can be to navigate the agricultural industry. Reagan Harrison.
That cattle battle's in March.
It is.
The odds of a water balloon fight in March is cold,
boy,
right?
They must have had a first good day in the spring. Yeah, they this livestock barn is. I think they're still using it to store some equipment like RVs and
boats,
campers. Yeah, and so
one of the
sometime
first,
there they release it, and that's about right when they get ready to have this thing.
I know that. I'm pretty sure that's in March, and I think it's usually cold in March.
Okay. How is skiing in March?
I don't know. I don't think water balloons would be a very good idea.
Boy, I wouldn't either. That sounds like you'd be motivated to be running, I'd say.
Yeah.
So we talked about animals there in dairy that have made it through a kid's 10-year career. That was one of the really neat stories. There's a Charlie Kramer's got the red doe out here, second one from the end. She's looks like she's the first one when you look on the YouTube. Got those little white socks on her. That doe was a little junior doe. Charlie's first year in 4-H, and he is she's 10 now, and this is his 10th year in 4-H.
Our representatives for goat are Charlie Kramer, H, and Laney Ferris, G. So I don't know if you guys can even see those, but if you can, I gave them to you. Oh, I just got an update on my phone. The cattle battle is in April.
April. All right.
Thank you for who texted me.
Keeping us in line.
Yeah, we need it. Oh, Claire Smith is now Claire Thompson. Max Thompson. Yeah, and they're my neighbors.
Everybody's keeping you all in line.
I know. I need all the help I can get. Thank you. I'm glad my phone works in here.
It can be a tin can in here at times. So, well, thanks for tuning in on WTRE. Thanks for watching on YouTube. We appreciate everybody out there taking this in. If you can't be here, I know there's individuals out there that are watching from all over the place.
We're in our second to last species here.
We're doing some exchanges out here.
Oh, we're trading them up, trading them down. You might recognize on the screen that we do have both representatives of beef or meat and dairy goats are being shown, and
so when the kids when they made the decision to bring goats into the Tom Swain, it was one of the discussions was how we were going to go about doing that. So the dairy and the meat goats have their own show and their own separate showmanships. And so the winner of the expert from each of those becomes those two representatives here to represent goats. And
correct.
So like that's
where
we do end up with one dairy goat kid and one boar goat kid is kind of how we form up the 10. Those are our final two entries that come in here to make our 10 kids. For the longest time, this was an 8 4-H'er event, and we moved it up to 10. We didn't feel like going to 12 was, when you got 12 steers or 12 big dairy cows out here, it was just going to be a little too much. So it was decided that was the compromise.
It was a very good compromise.
Yep.
It gives them an opportunity to come in. But like you said, one expert from meat goats, one expert from dairy goats.
Yep, and so that's how it was made. And it's been a great move. The dairy and boar goat shows have always been really good here. Boar goats are actually fairly new to the United States and to showing in the Midwest. When you and I were in 4-H, there was not any. We didn't have any boar goats here. We didn't have any meat goats to speak of, and so it was just a dairy show. And now it's really grown a bunch. It's a very popular project.
Nationally, it has,
It has.
and in our county as well.
Yep. Yeah, Texas and Oklahoma really kind of lit a fire in this thing, and it
One of the interesting things I found, they said that one of the biggest expenses of goat keeping is the expense of having adequate fencing, because goats are so good at getting out. I also had no idea that the U.S. is the largest importer of goats. So we don't have enough goats to go around. We import a whole lot of goats.
Thanks,
The
Karen.
largest part of the world goat population is found in the Mideast and Asia. And worldwide, more people eat the meat and drink the milk of goats than any other single animal.
and you think about that people drink more goat milk in the world than they drink cow milk.
Australia is the largest exporter of goats.
Yeah, they're probably hand milking a lot of those goats too. I'm kind of wondering how they're really recording this information. I think they're just going off of how many people drink milk, how many people are in the country, and how much milk you think they might drink.
I don't think it's a guess, Andrew. I think this is real information that she is giving us.
She
has researched it.
She has, I know, but I think I'm doubting. I'm making some doubts on that. I do think there's probably a lot of it, but that amount is it would be hard to come up with, because we're talking about a lot of third world countries that aren't exactly they're not pasteurizing this milk. It's coming right out of that dairy cow and going right in your cup.
But, you go into those third world countries and, they can be on an acre of ground and raise a lot of goats.
They can. No, that's right. And when we raised goats before we got into what we're doing now, and they really like a drier climate. That's one thing. Goats are a browser, so they're not really a grazer like cows or sheep are, that like to eat grass and eat it all the way down, fairly close to the ground. They pick up internal parasites really easy, so they're instinctively they want to eat more at their shoulders or higher. So that's why if you turn goats loose.
Have you seen these videos where they put them on the roadsides on these steep hills and they clean, leave them in there long enough and they'll clean graze it.
Yeah, that's right. People are getting paid to bring your goats over in California to clean up road ditches and
hillsides.
And acreages, and I'll test them. Yeah, I'll testify. They're terrific. They will walk through the prettiest pasture you've ever seen in your life.
And eat a weed.
Eat the leaves off of a tree. I mean, they love broadleaves, and they like that kind. I mean, that's just where their palate's at.
Yeah.
And so they really complement sheep, or they complement cattle, where you can turn them out there and they're going to eat the ironweed and some of the broadleaf stuff that's in the pasture that the cow's not eating and working around. So
multiflora rose.
that is their cotton candy right there. They love multiflora rose. I think they even eat the sticks. I mean, that's their filet mignon right there. So we've done dairy, we have done swine, we've had our sheep out here, we've got goats now, so we just got one species left to show. That's going to be our beef project. So this thing's going fast. It really is.
We've moved right through, and these judges are putting these showmen through paces. I've seen a couple things that I haven't seen in a showmanship before. Yep. The duck goose thing was very, very.
It was
intriguing.
Entertaining
It was
for sure.
entertaining.
The crowd loved that, and the kids. I felt like after it, there was a seriousness to it right out of the gate. That a few of them were.
Didn't know what was going to
Oh
happen.
boy, they were shell shocked when he started moving fast. But a couple of them really started laughing. I mean, it got to be a bit of a game, and they kind of lowered their guard a little bit, and they certainly needed to move around quick, but they were having as much fun as he was. She seems to be pretty calm and collective. He's kind of the wiry one of the two judges.
And I might as well. Our judges tonight are Dr. Clint Shireman and Megan Shireman. They reside in LaPorte, Indiana, if you didn't catch that earlier.
Yeah, a lot of broad species experience, and that's terrific.
Yep.
That is terrific. Yeah, when I first saw that, because we've got a Madeline Shireman out here showing.
But this is Megan.
No relation.
Yeah.
We've had some great husband and wife teams over the years that have done this. We've had a mother and her daughter do it a couple times. I mean, it's been a really neat. It's just, I think the judges are as honored to come here and do this as anyone, and I've had a chance to judge a few of these and certainly be at a few of them at other county fairs, and ours is very highlighted, very spotlighted for our fair it's the culmination event. It's our last event. It's like, the final countdown right here into this, and we do a great job of really spotlighting these kids. I know it felt very honored to be out there in it.
Hell, I'm honored to be able to broadcast
it is. I appreciate being asked to be a part of it. It's always just something you circle on the calendar. Karen's talked about, encouraging next year to have all these past winners come. I bet if she asked all of them to stand up right now, there's 20 of them or more that are here right now. I mean, this is something that when you were in it, you really enjoyed it, and there's a lot of them that were in it a number of times that never won this thing that are here.
You're setting by one.
Yeah. Well, and Hope Barker's dad is one of those. Mike was in this. Mike could tell us. I bet he was in it as many times as Hope's been in it, and was never able to win it, but just was one of those that just made you sweat, made you work. Mike just did a fabulous job out here, and I'm sure he would testify he learned a lot from that.
But if you can zoom in on your camera, I can see the 1976 winner and 78 winner sitting straight across the ring from us.
Caddy corner over there.
Mr. Mark Heert. Oh, no, and Andy got it in 80.
Oh, yeah. He's
a three-timer.
The Heerts worked this thing over from 76 to 86. There was only 3 people that won this thing that weren't in the family. 76,
okay.
You had a Fogel, a Miller, and a Fogg, and that got you all the way to 86. So, I mean, that's family domination right there.
And we had another run like that back in from 99 till what?
Yeah, 97. Allison won it the first year and then came back, and then her brother Craig jumped in right behind her. So, 97 to 2003, those two basically beat everybody all but 1 year. And so, and that was Karen Smith that's on the mic tonight. Her daughter Joy won it in 98. So.
And they had a little run there. Sonny won it in 95, Joy won it in 96, and Joy came back and won it in
that 95 would have been Sonny's last year in 4-H. So she was finishing up. She actually came back and did that after a year of college, because that was the time when your 10th year a lot of times was a full year after you were out of high school. So Sonny won that her 10th year, because she was actually a year behind us in 4-H starting. So. And Allison was really young when she won it the first year, because she actually won that 5 years, and she was in it she clearly was in it 6 years because the year she didn't win. So and I think she might have been in it in 96. I'm positive 2002 is probably her last year in 4-H, but she's one that has got her name on that thing 5 times on that trophy. I mean, that's a record that probably going to struggle to be broken. So.
No, honestly, it's been kind of all over the place.
So we've dismissed our goats out, and we're ready to take our 5-minute break here and then get ready for beef, our final species here in the 2023 Tom Swain Memorial Showmanship. It's a supreme showmanship of sorts, one that here at Decatur County involves dairy, beef, swine, sheep, and goats.
Right. And speaking of other counties, they have round robins and they're, but
and some of them bring horses and bring poultry and rabbits and some other stuff into the equation, and so it's a really extensive. If you go down and do like a Fayette County at Connorsville, they actually do a round robin for like beginner showmanship. So if you won beginner showmanship, all of the beginner showmanship kids participate in a round robin against each other. So they really get them started early, and boy, those kids get older. I mean, they're dialed in. They understand what it takes to be out here, and they've got a lot of experience. I think it's a great thing just to get those younger kids involved and
introduce them to a different species.
Sure, for sure. One of the other things we do that's unique is a lot of counties, when you win this thing, you basically are retired for the remainder of your 4-H years, and so you can only win it once. And so a kid like, an Allison Meyer comes in and wins this her 4th year in 4-H, and so now this supreme showmanship's off the table for her. And that has been discussed here a number of different times, but there's some prestige in knowing that every year the best kids are out here.
Correct.
Whether they're multi-winners or whether it's their first year out, and when you win it, you won and you were able to to compete against the best that our county had to offer. And I think that's what's really kept this prestigious through the years.
And that's like telling Tiger Woods he can't play the Masters after he won it once.
That's right.
That's what Michael Jordan can't go back can't play with the Bulls after they won a championship.
Yeah, I mean it's just.
Becky Vandiver, and this is my husband David Vandiver, and we are the project leaders for the beef this year. We had a total of 77 head exhibited this year. We had 1 10-year member, and we had 13 first-year members. So our side of the barn is growing tremendously. I would like to take an opportunity real quick to award our Beef Herdsmanship Award. Our herdsmanship, it goes to somebody that takes care of the barn real well, keeps his animals clean, helps other 4-H'ers, and all that kind of fun stuff. This little guy has been in 4-H for, I think, showing beef for about 3 years now, and we're super excited to award that to Lane Scudder.
All right.
Way to go, Lane.
That's a great honor for a kid. That's a traveling trophy that they put together, and it's a great honor to get. It takes a lot of work to be highlighted as one of those kids to have an opportunity to win that.
Yep, that's the guy that's sweeping the aisle when he's.
It's 10 o'clock at night, and
yeah,
that's right. And everybody's been to the wash racks, and there's a few of these little patties, we'll call them, out in the aisleway.
Yeah.
Gifts that these cows leave behind. So our representatives for beef out here is Evan Graves. Evan's right here, spotlighted on YouTube, right here on this end.
Jay on his back.
Yep. And then Reagan Harrison. Reagan is in the 3rd hole there. She's got that black long sleeve shirt pulled out. I think that's her. Is that
okay?
It is. Yep. So first and third hole right here are our two representatives from beef. This is one of those really dedicated projects. A lot of these kids, if it's not their last year, they're probably already out looking through calves, if not already have found their calves that they're going to show for next year. I always called it's a 14-month project because you're not wrapped up yet, and we're already out scouting around looking for the calves for next year, because a lot of these calves would have been born in January, February, March, April, and so you think about
Of last year.
Correct. So they're a year and 5 months old, let's say, is kind of when these kids are showing them. It takes about that long for a steer to go from being born to being fed up and have enough condition on him, enough size and maturity to where his muscle mass and the marbling, they call it, which is that is the intramuscular fat that's within that cut of meat. That is some of the very last parts of the finishing process when those kids are feeding out calves, and whether it's a production calf or a show calf, that's an important
kind of the
aspect.
same deal.
Sure is. Yep. And the judge there yesterday really spent a lot of time talking about calves that were market ready, and market ready means they're one that have got all of those final touches, a calf that would be ready to go to market and serve their purpose. So
A little bit different view this year, Andrew. We've always broadcast from on the top of the bleachers.
The Eagle's nest, I'll call it.
Yeah.
So we were kind of up looking down on everybody, kind of had an
overview of the ring. This is a little bit different angle.
It is. Stuff's going to happen that you guys might see that we're going to miss out on if it happens at the right time. But we've got a great crowd of people here, a lot of people all the way around the ring, and it's really turned into a pretty great evening. I mean, just the weather's cooled off here a little bit. Sun's coming in at far end. It's a great night. So there's 10 individuals out here for this showmanship. They're A through, what's that make them? A through K?
A through K.
Their back tags. And so the way that they've done this in the past is at each round, the judge ranks the kids from 1st to 8th, right? 1st to 10th.
1st to 10, yeah. 1 through 10.
1 through 10. And so if you're 1, you were their pick, and you score 1 point. And if you were their 8th ranked kid, then you get 8 points. And so it's just like golf. Low score wins.
Low score wins.
So
and we'll take a little break here, and Karen will probably be on the mic. But they'll take some time and go back in the back and add them all up. And in the past we've had the exhibitors come out and maybe give a little bio. So,
and some of those awards that you rattled off, a few of those, just the fact that they're participating in this, they're going to be giving out some of that hardware.
Yep.
We've got they've got some great sponsorship. So a lot of those awards, aside from the top winners, the medallions, the T-shirts. Some of those special gifts that are going to be given out by the Meyer family. All that stuff we'll do while the judges are tallying scores. And so we will.
Yeah, but I hope we get, normally we get each one of them on the mic and they introduce their mom and dad. We don't know yet.
That's right. It'd be great if that all happens. Every set of judges kind of thinks about that different, and hopefully that plays out. It is great to get a chance to get on the mic and thank some people that have helped get you to this point. I think it's always one of those questions when you and I get a chance to do a post-game show with the kids that are fortunate enough to come out of here as champion or reserve. They usually get a chance to come talk to us, and that's something we'd really like to give them an opportunity to just thank those that helped get them where they're at.
And that helps with public speaking. 'Cause
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, it's all those steps that help get them up to that point.
beef is one of those, and I kind of single out beef, but sometimes not getting frustrated can move you up in placing. If you got a cow that's just not working with you, and you keep your cool and
yeah, you don't want to overreact. The animal can definitely feel your nervousness right through the show, right through your halter. You feel like right into them, and so you have to remain calm. You need to move smooth, and if you can do that, a lot of times your animal will really positively react for you.
Sure. But you can tell they've all grabbed steers that have been worked with, even though they didn't work with them, but they're all...
Yeah, one of those, the late nights in the barn where they've learned where the buttons are, how to get them to move and do what they want. And boy, these kids really act like they know what they're doing out here, and that's definitely your goal. It's fake it till you make it out here. Some of these kids don't have a lot of experience, and they don't want to. I mean, your goal is to not stand out as one that doesn't know what they're doing. You want to blend right in, and you're hoping that they say, "Man, there's a cattle kid right there," and be one of those that really has a good run out here. So we've got usually we've got a sheep getting loose or a goat getting loose or a calf, doing something. Boy, we have had a smooth run. I hate to say something like that.
Yeah, you're going to jinx it.
I know.
Here in the last.
I know, but they're really making it hard on the judges out here for sure. I mean, I think we've got. Boy, I just don't know that I've seen any one person just kind of dominate this thing at this point. I think it's going to be really close.
I did showmanship on the swine with my son Trevor, and we were talking about. Of course, he was trying to get sponsorship from Hey Dudes or Twisted X. I was just doing a little scan of the footwear here, and we have a little bit of everything, so that's okay. If
I'm definitely a traditional cowboy boot wearer in the ring if I can be, but some of this, the Twisted X and the Hey Dudes have certainly started to dominate the ring. They're easy to slip on and off, and at least with a pair of jeans, they don't look too bad. They're certainly not tennis shoes, and that's the nice thing about it.
They still hurt when you get stepped on by a 1,400-pound steer.
Yeah, even the cowboy boots do. Both our judges have got cowboy boots on. Shout out to them.
I was kind of looking at. Most of them all have a brush in their back pocket, I think.
Scotch comb, they call that flat-bladed comb that's in their pocket. When I was a kid, they were narrower, shorter, I would call it. Then these real wide blade combs are really nice, and the skip tooths, and they've really worked on quality of these Scotch combs. But it's
go back and look and see if all the pig people had brushes in their pocket.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, and even what they use to drive the pigs has changed from when you and I were in.
Old piece of half-inch water pipe.
It was, with a little bit of a bow to it, it was perfect. It just got you right where you wanted to be. I showed with a cane, a lightweight, like a smaller cane that was a little showier, light and easy to handle. But I
remember the bats that they used. Whip with the little
little slappers
on the end of
they
it.
Were loud, made racket noise. We gave those things. We gave out some. There was some fiberglass. They were just little narrow fiberglass pieces that had a plastic handle on one end, and whoever, it was like a first-year member thing that they gave to all of the kids when they got started. Man, those things were loud. Kids would be moving their pig around, and so we've evolved a long ways on our driving equipment for pigs for sure.
But the show sticks have always been around. So
They have. Dad, I showed with a wooden one only because it was real traditional more for me. It wasn't that they didn't have, these are more like a golf club type of a handle.
Fiberglass shaft.
Yes, and that or aluminum. There was a lot of aluminum
Yes.
shafts when we were kids, and now they've gone to a painted aluminum or a fiberglass. And there was kind of a length that you wanted to have them that fit your size. So as you were a young kid, you wanted a shorter one, and then kind of graduated to these longer ones. But on the end, it's got just a little hook piece and then a little pointer, and that little hook piece, you actually scratch their belly. It calmed them down, kind of got their attention, kind of distracted them a little bit from all the other things that were going on around them. You use that to help touch their feet, to get them to move their feet and position where you wanted them, along with maybe pulling or pushing on their halter a little bit. But that was that scratching of their belly. They really like that. And so when you first got them in and haltered them, they weren't sure what you were up to, but they quickly learned that's a great thing. It's like
a good thing.
Oh, it was. Yeah, it's like scratching a dog behind their ears. So they're getting some numbers down. They're tallying up their thoughts on a 1st to 10. I think it's probably tough all the way down. I mean, you're like, which kid really was 10th? I think would really be challenging out here. I mean, it's just a really tough decision, and they're both turning in numbers, and now they're having to let the kids turn back around and show here a second. Gonna have them pull out, walk around, and we'll see if the kids are wrapped up. Getting ready to open the gate, and we're taking
They're
out the
being
cattle.
dismissed. Yep.
So it is. It's all over but the adding now. So there's a level of relief right now. Yeah, I can see it in the faces. They're like,
Yeah, I have no idea where we're at right now.
yeah, they've worked hard on it. Some of them are really locked on yet, leaving the ring. They've got, they understand there's a game face, but both of our judges are, they've made their decisions. They're done. These kids can relax. This thing's behind them now. There's nothing they can do to affect the results. So it should be a real feeling of relief, hopefully, for them out here. So it's been a really great
evening.
Great evening. Smooth, talented group out here. A really tough decision. I'd be
glad it's them, not me, right?
Boy, oh boy. I mean, I know out there in the ring, they got a chance to ask some questions. And
that could be the big separator.
Yep.
I mean,
they gained a little bit of understanding of their general knowledge within each of those species, and that's got to help them make some tough decisions that we can't see.
Sure.
But the optics were tough.
The optics were tough.
Yeah, it looks like a talented group from the standpoint of doing the fundamentals. So it may come down to knowledge and a few things that we didn't see. One of the things is that the hog was really, it was pretty intense, the pig show right out of the gate. And they narrowed that thing up.
Yes.
And they were balling up a little bit down here on this east end, and I don't know
Contestants,
how much
please
that
come into
impacted,
the
so.
ring. Contestants, please come to the ring.
All right.
So we'll bring our 10 contestants back out here, and we're going to recognize them. And once again, we're going to see we've got some 10 years right down here on this end, right out of the gate, that I think there's got to be some emotion in it. This is their last event. I mean, and we're going to see some tears of joy. We will. I mean, there's going to be some sad faces, not on the results, but just the fact that their 4-H year's coming to an end. And, at the county fair, some of these kids are state fair bound, and they've got things to do yet after this. But boy, there's some bittersweet feels of kids that either are in this for their first time and really just getting a chance to have this as something that they can say they were in. So Judges are going down through, high-fiving, fist bumping. These kids appreciating their attendance. So we'll get some comments from our judges, and Karen will have some results at some point. As they get ready to hand out some of these general things like the medallions, she's going to talk about those and who sponsored them. And so we've got a few of those things, housekeeping things to do here.
All right, everyone, let's give them a round of applause. So on behalf of my wife and I, thank you for having us out. We do a lot of these. We really do enjoy coming out, working with youth, especially in this Supreme Showman or Ultimate Showman or whatever y'all call it. But, you know, right here, this is one of the most important things or one of the most popular things that gets judged at a local county fair. And we have a lot of respect for it because with these individuals out here, like, this is the future of ag, right? And animal agriculture. So it's our job as mentors, educators, whatever the case may be, to keep these kids engaged, keep them focused, and keep them involved in this project. With this Supreme, with the round robin, you know, it's not just about showmanship. And you saw us asking some questions. To us, we don't want to make this a quiz bowl. We try to just see what the kids learn. All we want to know is that they had an all-new respect for a project that they're not used to. Whether it's the beef kid showing the dairy or the dairy showing the goats, we don't really care because we love the fact that they're able to go out there, be involved, get in touch with a new species, and become comfortable with it. I'll tell you right now, you guys were tough. And from the moment that we started that Swain Showmanship, you guys were dead on, and it was serious. I mean, and I appreciate that. I can tell that they practiced. I can tell that they got involved. And that means a lot to a judge coming to the events like these because sometimes there's a clear winner and other times it's a rarity like this where we get the quality of these showmen that are so intense and so serious and they're so involved that, I mean, it's really humbling. So we do appreciate it from that end. Going forward, you kids did a great job. Keep your heads up. Keep working. I guess I'm going to announce your champion unless y'all got something to say. All right. Thank your mom and dad. Thank anybody that helps you. They got you here regardless. You are all getting something first, and that's about all I got out of that conversation.
Linda will get him straightened, or Karen will get him straightened out. So they've got some T-shirts to hand out.
T-shirts sponsored by
Hirt Family and Coors Cattle Company.
Medallions sponsored by Animal Medical Hospital.
That is a long stand. That's one of the first kind of traditional things that got added in. Was that Animal Medical Hospital? That was Bales and Martin, and now the Martin family is kind of running that thing, and it's a great deal. Anyway, just really appreciate all of their sponsorship. Alan and Kathy Meyer and Meyer Family Shorthorns have got. It says a special gift for the champion, and so that'll be one of the things that'll just be for our winner here.
Yep.
But just a great opportunity. These kids are getting a shirt. They're getting a medallion that is awesome for them. And so we're bringing out some big hardware. We've got a rotating trophy that's got all those names on it. Karen didn't have a chance to go through and talk about those, but there is a long list of people that are on here that have been in the past winners, and a lot of those are around the ring. As Kevin said, I'm eyeballing some winners on the other side of the ring that go all the way back to 78.
Okay, sorry about that. So for your reserve champion Supreme Memorial Showmanship Contest, Reagan Harrison.
Reagan Harrison. Reagan comes out of the beef. Congratulations to her. She's got some years
yet. And your
yet.
champion, Hope Barker.
Repeat winner.
Congratulations, Hope. Hope comes out of sheep. She just graduated from South Decatur. This is her last year in 4-H, so what an unbelievable opportunity for her.
And what a great run.
That's how you want it to be here at the end.
Congratulations to Hope and Reagan. It was a great show. Thank you all for coming. We need a picture. Are you going to do it at the backdrop? Need the contestants to stick around for pictures.
Well, we'll hope to try to get
Don't
Hope
forget
over
that
here,
next year we
and
want
as
all
well
our
as
past
Reagan
winners
Harrison,
to
and
return for
get
the
a chance to talk
50th
to them and kind of
anniversary
get
of the
their
Tom
reaction.
Swain.
There's going to be a lot of emotions on it. I mean, what an awesome opportunity. We've had a lot of great groups, top to bottom. I think this was a really, really outstanding group of kids that were out here, and he was very accurate on the mic. I mean, you talk about just an intense set that had done their homework. They were settled in. They knew what they needed to do, and they got out here, and really nobody made blaring mistakes that really separated them from everyone else. I think it was a tough decision.
And I'm going to go back maybe the last 10 years. If we had privy to scoring, I would say that's probably as a group of 10, those were probably the closest scores that we've had in a long, long time.
Yeah.
And that's my personal opinion.
And just some tough decisions for those judges. So I'm really thankful to have them. We appreciate
I'm glad
them.
it was them, not us, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dr. Clint Shireman and Megan Shireman, they come to us. I was trying to think where two of them are. They live in LaPorte right now. That's where they're at. Got a couple daughters. Appreciate them taking the evening to come down here and sort through a great set of young people that we've got here on in our barn here at Decatur County and the livestock shows. So just a terrific event. I want to thank Decatur County Recycling, Let's Hardware, Gemstone, Russ Hubler, Obermeyer Agri Group, Buy Right Auto, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Napoleon State Bank, and Decatur County REMC. I want to thank all of them for their support in sponsoring this event here for you on WTRE.
And I also like to thank the crew at WTRE for giving us the equipment and the opportunity to do it. Sandy, Kathy, Mark, Emily, Morgan's been really involved. So really want to thank WTRE. This is kind of special. I have enjoyed doing it here the last 4 years.
It's a great platform. We appreciate them giving us out on YouTube a number of these shows that have happened all last week and through the weekend and the first part of this week up through yesterday. Those things are all out there archived through WTRE's YouTubes.
Yep.
And so I'd encourage you, if any of those species interest you and you want to go back and watch them, they're out there for you to see. And it's a great opportunity to see some of these kids in action when they showed in their species and how they got here.
And if you want to watch it and turn the volume down, that's fine.
That's right. And there's a poultry show and there's a rabbit show out there. And I don't know if the fashion show was on YouTube yesterday. I'm not sure what events they did total, but really appreciate the platform that WTRE gave for all these kids to have that out there, because it's something that they can go back and watch next week, next year, 5 years from now. We've got people that are here that, Hope Barker just was out here in the ring and had a magical opportunity to win this thing, and now she can go back and watch this and really get a chance to relive it. And so those are priceless aspects of what WTRE is bringing to them that we greatly appreciate. And thank our sponsors for that.
Grab any of our extension office, if Chris or Nora. Can we get you on the mic for a minute? Chris Fogel.
Here's Chris Fogel. Chris is our extension agent here in Decatur County. Chris, has been just a great fair, hasn't it? I mean, not only has the weather really kind of played out well, but just had a fabulous fair as far as the livestock side. And Tom Swain went really good.
It has been. It's one of those, whenever I was in 4-H, I always remember people being here all the time. And I feel like we're slowly getting back to that, where in the livestock barns, in the midway, in the buildings for our static projects, it's starting to get that fair feel back to it. And it's been good, and it's one of those things that we've worked hard on the 4-H side with the fair committee to make improvements to the buildings and for the youth, specifically here in the large livestock pavilion. A lot of people commented on how much cooler it was, and that's because we've done some work to make things just that much better for the shows. And it's been a good fair. You know,
It sure has.
We've not run into any issues other than one little bout of rain, and it didn't affect the 4-H side very much, but we lost a little bit on the fair side. But it's all good.
Well, it's you know the farmers around here growing some crops in the field. They need a little bit of rain. So, and we were short on it, but we kind of got it at the right times so that it didn't affect a lot of the events we had here. So
it's a double-edged sword. You talk to a lot of parents in here, and they're like, please don't rain for the 4-H side, but we really need it for the crops.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And we've had some rains. I mean, boy, yesterday that was just north of us and kind of rolled through here. But back to this fair, I mean, it's just been, we really appreciate all the time you guys put in. This thing, next year's fair starts next week.
Yeah.
And I know there's a ton of time that goes in, and you got a super staff in the office, and I know that whole crew contributes to make this thing happen.
It is. It's one of those things we talk a lot about. It takes so many hours, weeks, days just to put together what we do, and it's when you have a strong staff, it's easy to do a job whenever you all work together as a unit. And we've worked towards a lot of progress this year, changing things, identifying, working with families, like what can we do to make it better? How can we make it that's more accessible? And tonight one of the things that we worked on was just working on the show bill for tonight, and that was one thing that we changed up a little bit, and so many people it just elevated it just that much where it's different. And
yeah, it really did. It's very well done. A lot of good write-ups in there. I thought from that side it's just great material for people to carry home for these kids to have as a memento from being in this. So
and it's one of those things too that we we shout out to the extension office, but shout out to all the volunteers that just are approved volunteers through our county. They're the ones that are doing the monthly meetings, the project leaders, the livestock leaders. They're the ones that put in the true hours to get kids to where we see how proficient they are in things. So
and these projects they really grow and are fed by those leaders, and we see that in the 13 new beef kids in the cattle barn. I mean, that's an exciting thing, just to have new membership coming in. When you hear that they've got 10-year members, but they've got more first-year members coming in than they've got 10 years going out. Those are the positive things that are exciting about the future of what we do here.
One of the things that we're hitting hard, I can tell you, in this coming year is it's Nora's goal to get into the schools, start marketing 4-H now, because we've had so many families that even in the county, with the small of a county as we have, so many families when they see us out and about have no idea what 4-H is and how can we get involved, what is it? And so we have a lot of opportunity to really make the program bigger, and that's our goal is to, we're sitting at about 450, 500 enrollment, and I would like to see that continually grow each year and get more kids involved. And
I think you're right. I mean, you look at our in the county schools. If you looked at 3rd through 12th grade and how many total kids there are in our county, and a lot of those kids reside in a rural, or in a rural environment where they can certainly do some of these species, it'd be terrific to see that go up. And I think we've got a great quality group of kids, but we could really springboard that into something outstanding. So figure out where we put them all.
So let me ask you a question. I know you were a 10-year 4-H member, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
So when you think back to your time in 4-H, what is that one memory you go back to that you're like, that was it?
Well, for me, it was 30 years ago. Today was when I won this event, and that was a huge one. Legacy, man. Yeah, and I tell you, one of the neat things was I got in through a couple species, and I was able to bow out of a couple of those and let some 10-year kids come in, and that was. I really, those kids forever appreciated that, and that was just a neat experience for me to feel that out of them, because they had a joy just to be able to be in this. I mean, there's 10 kids in it, and I tell you, just to be in this is an unbelievable experience.
Yeah. And we actually, that was one of the things that we had happen this year, where we had a youth win a showmanship class, and he knew that we had some 10-year members in it, and he wasn't even out of the ring and said, nope, I want it to go to, this individual because it's their 10th year, and I want them to experience what that's like. I have more time to get it there. And
I told him that was a great gift that you gave.
That's what 4-H is all about. It's,
sure is.
It's good to get the wins, but it's better to learn, and, it's good to be humble in wins and gracious in losses, and he was certainly somebody that, he showed far beyond his years and wisdom at that point.
He sure
so.
did. Well, hey, I'm going to catch these
Yes,
our winner
absolutely.
in reserve, but thank you for sitting down with us, Chris.
Sure thing.
So-
Thanks.
We've got our reserve champion sitting down here, Reagan. Reagan Harrison, congratulations. You did an awesome job out there. It was tough. I mean, what an unbelievable group out there.
I know.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
There you go. Now we can hear you better.
Yeah, it was a really good experience.
So what was the toughest part about being out there?
Probably showing a sheep.
Showing a sheep.
This is
All
really
right.
different.
You know, but you didn't let it get away from you.
No.
We've had that happen. I mean, I tell you what, I was really impressed with just how smooth everything went in all the species for everybody. I mean, you guys really made it tough on the judges.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you that. Well, you got anybody out there you want to thank for getting yourself here?
Thank my parents and my uncle and just everybody's animal, everybody that let me use their animal.
Yeah. Did you spend the last couple nights working with some other 4-H'ers, learning how to show something that you weren't used to?
Yeah, so I just found out last night, so I've been working last night and all day today.
Okay. Have you been in this before?
This is my second time.
Second time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so you got a few years left. I see are you going to be a sophomore? Is that what you'll be next year? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're excited to see you continue on and maybe string together a couple wins or certainly be back here again.
Attention,
we plan on
Barn,
seeing
if
you in
you
that,
are
okay?
I hope so.
Congratulations.
Swain Club member
Thank
that
you.
is interested in loading those animals out tonight. We're going to get things squared away here in the next few
Hope
minutes.
Barker.
So if you want to back up to the dock,
Congratulations on your
you
win.
can do that at this time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You worked hard on it out here. I know this is an event that means a lot to you.
Yeah.
Had a really nice little write-up about just your experience in doing this in the past, and a lot to learn and grow from this, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely.
Tell me about tonight and kind of how did it play out for you?
So I spent the whole week lining up my animals, even like before the show, just in case. And I really didn't get nervous until the 5-minute call went up and my heart dropped.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's insane. And the amount of friendships that I made just this year that I have no idea why I wasn't friends with them before, from just practicing Tom Swain, getting my animals all together. And then the amount of little kids that now, look up to me, and they've been hanging around me all week. And it's 10th year has been absolutely amazing.
Well, it goes fast, and it's hard to believe it's your last year, and then when you get the privilege of being in this on that, the last night before, kind of the last night of the fair. I know you've got state fair plans, and so this is your 4-H is far from over for you. But,
Oh, yeah.
But from a county fair side, it's been pretty special here. We've really enjoyed having you in. How many years have you been in this?
So I've won expert sheep showmanship 6 times, because I was actually thinking about that when you asked Reagan.
Okay, all right.
And
But one of
once
those-
was COVID year.
Yes.
So we didn't have a Tom Swain, but I've been in Tom Swain 5 times.
5 times, okay. All right. And in those 5 years, you've won this twice, and you've been reserved twice, right?
Yep.
So that's pretty incredible. That is pretty incredible. So
Attention in the barn, if you are the owner of a blue Pontiac that is parked on the east side of the building next to the green dumpster, it's not totally in the way, but it's close enough that you might be sideswiped by the livestock trailers. So if you would please move that car, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
They may not like that car very well, and they're kind of hoping it gets sideswiped.
Maybe.
That might be what's going on.
Maybe.
So, so I know you've got some people out there to thank. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
So actually, I talked to Sarah last night.
Okay, Sarah
And-
Hasselbrink.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I
She's
talked
out
to
in
her.
what?
She's in South Dakota right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's probably listening to us, I would guess. She was wanting to know what channel this is going to be on.
Yeah,
so.
she told me she would get, if she got the chance, she would watch it. So.
Yeah.
But no, I talked to her last night, asked for some last-minute advice on pigs, and she, no offense, Sarah, is the one that made me nervous.
Yeah.
And she, I don't think she meant to, because she kept telling me that she had faith in me and that I got this, and then I was like, oh, now I don't want to disappoint her.
Yeah.
And I know Sarah wouldn't have been disappointed either way, but always, always have to thank her.
Yeah.
For keeping me on my toes when it comes to 4-H and just being a part of my 4-H career in general.
Well, that's great. That is great. It's been, I know you've had a great ride. You got a ton of support at home and just a huge family of support around you. Help teach you. You got a few people around you that could teach you a thing or two.
Oh, yeah, Matt all the time, my grandpa, my dad, my aunt, my biological aunt Jessie, she steps in from time to time, my grandpa. It's just, I've got so many people that are by my side and always come and cheer me on no matter where I'm at.
Well, that's great. You've been running around showing, went to the All-American this year. So
in Wisconsin,
yeah. Those are fun experiences.
So much fun.
I know you've made a lot of friends out here, and so it sounds like you're off to Indiana this fall.
I actually have a show next weekend.
Okay.
In Greenfield, and then Indiana,
Okay.
and then Louisville in November.
Okay. All right. Got a little state fair in there. Are you guys going to go to the state fair and show?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, you've got a lot of sheep showing planned to do. So we're excited. It's been an honor having you here at Decatur County as one of our kids kind of represent us out there in the world. So we're really proud of you. Congratulations on your win tonight.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. We're going to sign off here from the 2023 Decatur County Tom Swain Memorial Showmanship. Hope Barker is our winner. Reagan Harrison was runner-up, but we had 10 outstanding individuals. Kevin Kreitz did just a great job. Kevin's asked me to come on and be a part of this with him, and I really appreciate and I'm honored to be asked to come on and do this. Once again, want to thank Decatur County REMC, Napoleon State Bank, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Buy Right Auto, Obermeyer Agri Group, Russ Hubler, Gemstone, Let's Hardware, and Decatur County Recycling. Thank you for your sponsorship for this evening. We're going to sign off here. We are having the auction tomorrow, and I believe it's going to be live on YouTube as well, so be looking to tune in on that. That's a 1 o'clock start, and we will be coming to you live here from the Decatur County Fair tomorrow for our livestock auction. Kevin Kreitz, got any final words?
Hey, thanks for watching. We'll do it again next year. It'll be the 50th year.
It's going to be a magical thing. I may have to take my headset off and go into the ring for a little bit.
You will, because your name's on that list.
So I'm excited about it. It'll be a great time. I think getting the word out. That's going to be a really, really neat experience to be out there with the legends that have come through this ring and had a chance to put their name on that trophy.
All right, want to thank you from the Decatur County Tom Swain Show. This is Kevin.
Andrew Gauck.
We're signing out.
Have a great evening, everybody.